Now, that combat operations in Afghanistan are over, NATO is shifting its focus to Europe. It's creating a new ultra-rapid response force, all to deter Russia. CCTV's Jack Barton has this report from Brussels.
In its withdrawal from Afghanistan, NATO finds that for the first time in 15 years, it's not involved in combat operations beyond its borders. That doesn't mean there are no major threats on NATO's radar, which has now swung back towards Europe.
There's a real realization that Europe is no longer safe for real threats. In the east, we see a revisionist Russia, and certainly the invasion of Ukraine has really shaken up the European leaders for the fact that a conventional attack on Europe is again a potential possibility.
NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg spent this week reassuring allies in Berlin, as well as former Eastern Bloc countries that have been rattled by Russia's perceived interference in Ukraine.
We are determined to do what it takes to defend all allies against any threat. And that's the reason why we are developing the Readiness Action Plan.
The core of that plan is a rapid response capability known as the Spearhead Force. The Spearhead Force is expected to consist of 5,000 soldiers backed by air and sea power who can respond to any threat within days. An interim force is already operational, but the big question is who will pay for this specialised team once it reaches full strength.
European defence budgets are historically low. Some of the individual European nations have actually quite limited capabilities. Even nations like France or UK would find it difficult to sustain a military campaign for a longer time beyond its borders.
Capabilities that are also being tested by airstrikes in Iraq and Syria, targeting the Islamic State group known as ISIL, which in the wake of the Paris attacks and Belgian anti-terror raids also appears to be an emerging threat within Europe's borders. Jack Barton, CCTV, Brussels.